Hey everyone, I'm Bella, the moderator for this webinar. I welcome everyone for today's webinar, Bootcamp for New Managers and Supervisors. Develop this essential leadership skill and be a better boss. I would now like to introduce our presenter for today, Marcia Jaidel. Marcia Jaidel is a board-certified executive coach, business management consultant, and a keynote speaker who helps organizations leverage their leadership and human capital asset. Hand over the floor to the speaker. Over to you, Marcia.
Thank you, and welcome everyone to Bootcamp for New Managers and Supervisors, how to develop those essential leadership skills and be a better boss. Well, first, congratulations. You may have recently become a new manager or supervisor or team lead. So in a recent Harvard Business Review titled Saving Rookie Managers from Themselves, it states, quote, most organizations promote employees into managerial positions based on their technical competence. So today's topics that I'll be covering are first, the 7 mistakes of rookie managers, then a guide for your transition, then the 4 get-to-knows that every newly promoted manager or leader or team lead need to be aware of, and then shift to teamwork in action with a real live example, and then 5 keys to success. 7 mistakes rookie managers make. The first mistake is that they don't know how to progress from an individual performer to managing others. The second mistake is that they're unsure what their bosses expect them to accomplish. It is not letting go of the urge to control everything and micromanaging. Mistake number 4, they have poor ability relating to and working with others. Mistake number 5 is that they're so afraid of making a mistake that they make no decision at all. Mistake number 6 is they fail to reach out for help, thinking they have to be all-knowing. Mistake number 7 is they persist doing their old jobs rather than their new ones. Here's a quick review of the mistakes. Now we're going to move on to a guide for your transition. So these are the 4 get-to-knows, the 4 tasks that you need to accomplish in your first 90 days to get to know your boss. You know, what are your top priorities? The second is you need to get to know your job. So these are 4 vital issues or questions you have to get to know your staff. So the first thing you do is you have a group meeting of your team, of your department, and you bring them together and you say, give them that overview. These are those things that they need to know, and it's actually, you're filtering it down, and now you will have, with each of your direct reports, individual meetings. And this is to build relationships with each of your direct reports. And the 4th get to know is to get to know your peers. So what you do is you schedule a meeting with each of these managers. Many of you first-time managers may have been part of a team but have not managed a team. So I'm going to provide you with some insights and best practices from a real live example of teamwork in action. What makes a winning team? This is what I learned. One of the things. There are 4 things. So the first was common goals. They knew their priorities. So looking at your team, your department, what are the key priorities? The second lesson I learned was clear responsibilities. So it is more than a job description. Does everyone know how they are to work together? The third lesson I learned was about communication. So the question I have for you is, how do you keep your people in the loop? And then the 4th is commitment to the team. How did they move from me to we? How did they develop that teamwork? Why did they go through this? So how do you build camaraderie in your team or department? Teamwork in action, 4 lessons from firefighters that I learned. So now I'm going to end with some keys to successful transition. So in order to recognize what you don't know, first you have to be comfortable in being a learner. Be an elephant hunter, not an ant stomper. You need to be, first of all, aware that you can't fix everything at once. You need to keep an eye on the clock. So in order to keep an eye on the clock, but you need to, again, review your to-do list, manage by walking around. You get the real scoop. And then the fifth key to success is target a few early wins. You need to target a few early wins. So a quick review of what I covered during this webinar. So now there's some action planning. Think about what you've learned from this webinar. What are some key ideas that you can take with you, or 3 actions that you will take to be a better boss? Final thoughts. Work happy, live happy, be happy. Your team's performance is now your performance. As a boss, your people are the product. Your work is now done through others. I think this is from the manager's playbook. I think it's so important as a new manager that you realize that your work gets done through your team. You are not solely responsible. Do not become a micromanager. If you have good people and they know what they're doing, give them the opportunity to do it, to accomplish the task, and see and trust them to do the work. Now, if their performance is not up to speed, then you can go ahead and talk to them about their performance. So that's my final thought. I want to thank everyone, and I think that's it. And I'll turn it over to the facilitator if she has any final thoughts.
Thank you, Marcia.
You're welcome.
That concludes all the session for today. Thank you everyone for participating. You may all disconnect now. Have a good day ahead.